Chris's station. Second part of making rails at Alan Middleton's workshop. We've got the machine going. It's not as noisy as I thought, and you'll see the famous Middleton hands put a piece of tin plate through, and you watch it as it goes through, and out comes the end. And if we look down on the floor, fresh rails. Every now and again Alan's got to give it a bit of a push because it's got grease all through it, and until the grease, there we go, watch it come out. Now this was built by a guy called Jack Riding, who owned Right Time Clocks in the 50s, and he made lots of machinery for clocks and gear cuts, and Robuilt, Ron Tishner, who ran Robuilt, contracted Jack Riding to make the gears for the trains. Eventually Ron Tishner got sick of making trains, and Right Time Clocks with Jack Riding was being run out of business by the Japanese cheap watches, so they did a deal, and Jack Riding took over Robuilt trains. And then Jack, being a really good gear maker and tool maker, decided to make this machine. Underneath the bottom we've got probably a war surplus motor and a whole series of belts to get the speed correct. Now, we said Alan had done a lot of work. Here's that belt. If you have a look at the end of that, you'll see that's been drilled out to hold the gears or the pulleys on, and eventually it's weakened it that it's snapped. If this machine goes wrong, you end up with a piece of rail like that. It's not going to go too well. It gets jammed up over here. Alan has replaced a lot of the pieces to keep it going. So I asked him how long it took him to get it to work. He said a couple of weeks. He says, we don't muck around here. And if you've ever ordered something from Alan, you know it doesn't take long to arrive. Nicely wrapped, lovely presented. And at Chris's Central Station, we've got lots of rails, Middleton rails. And I've asked Alan to make me little rails, big rails, so I can make lots of layouts. And what Alan does when I ask for different curve ratios, or if you ask him, this piece at the end here comes off. If you take it off, the rails come out straight. At the moment it's set for, not sure what the curve is, but if we look on the floor, you can see that they're slightly curved. Obviously, Alan can adjust that and make the curves tighter. There'll be a limit where it'll all fall apart. He doesn't go that far. So, a fairly magnificent machine, still going strong, still making rails. And if you've got Middleton track, you can look at this video and say, my rails went through there, and there, and there, under there, and came out there. And what could be better than that, to know where your rails came from? So, just so you're all on the right track, and that was an intended pun, I hope you enjoyed this. And we may have one more video telling a bit more about the history, but I think we've captured it. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not often you see technology like this, and this is designed by one guy in the 50s, so from the ground up. So pretty clever to come up with all these sorts of mechanisms to work out. But most importantly, and if you think about this, this really is the important thing. It's been running, he's made lots of track, and it's still going 75 years later or more. How many machines still being used, still work, and isn't it fast when it works? Magnificent engineering at its best, and we can thank Alan Middleton for acquiring it, for maintaining it, for using it, and most of all for giving us something to run our trains on. So thanks Alan, thanks a million. Thanks for watching.